So for the first time in 20 days, we have no name storms in the Atlantic Basin, which is fantastic news for all of us here in the United States and across the Caribbean. We are still watching right now a couple of areas that have a very low risk for development in the next 5 days. Area into the central Atlantic that could develop into a broad area of low pressure here in the next 5 days, a 20% risk for that. And then an area of disturbed weather that is going to near the Caribbean here as we head into the later part of the week. But again, right now we are nice and quiet out there, which is nice to see that kind of a break. However, it's important to remember that hurricane season goes until November 30th, so it's not time to necessarily let our guard down. It's just time to enjoy that nice little break. And in fact, as you look at the tropics by the month, keep in mind it is only September 19th, so we still have about 10 to 11 days to go through the rest of the month, and then we have the month of October, and we see a lot of activity here through September and even October. And of course, here in the Low Country, we're very familiar with that. Seeing as how Matthew impacted us in the month of October, as well as that flooding from 2015 indirectly related to Hurricane Joaquin. So here's a look at the season and the forecast. So a near normal with the 9 to 13 named storms, 4 to 7 of those expected to be major hurricanes. Again, this is the updated Atlantic season that was updated about the middle of the season. Long-term averages are 12, 6, and 3. This is a look at the Colorado State forecast with 12 named storms expected this season. 5 hurricanes, and one of those a major hurricane. Of course, Hurricane Florence did get up to Category 4. So here we are. Our next name on the list would be Kirk if we get our next named storm here sometime in the near future. But so far we've gone from Alberto all the way to Joyce. That is quite a few storms there. Subtropical storm Alberto started off in May, and then the bulk of the activity was through July. We didn't see much, in fact, in the way of June, which is pretty typical. It's fairly quiet during June. Then we had a rather quiet August where we didn't actually have any hurricanes in the Atlantic Basin. We did have 2 tropical storms until we got Florence, but Florence didn't actually become a hurricane until we got into the month of September. And then now, as we've headed through the last several days, things have really started to die down after Florence making impact across the east coast of the United States just last week. Everything else that was going on in the Atlantic Basin, including Helene, Isaac, and Joyce, now have dissipated, and we're looking at a quiet, at least, week ahead for us in the tropics. I'm meteorologist Chrissy Kohler.